Hello everyone. Today we are going to understand the importance of project report and what are the major components one should cover while preparing this report. Basically, what is a project report? It is nothing but gives an overall picture of the proposed business or a project we intend to take it up. Hence, it should be meaningful and well documented so that it could be understood by any layman or the third person who is interested in the project. So the project report is basically prepared for the purpose of greenfield. It could be for the brownfield expansion project. It could be for the restructuring of the term loan, restructuring of the working capital. It could be for the investors like private equity investors, unsecured investors, even for the secured loans, for example, for the bankers, lenders. Sometimes project reports are also prepared when one look forward for the diversification in terms of sector, segment, or altogether the new product. So project report can be classified into two major categories, that is feasible and viable. So when the answer is in yes or no, we say the project is feasible. And when the answer is in yes and no, but backed by the analysis on the numbers, we say it is viable. So when the project is feasible and not viable, hence it is not doable. Likewise, when the project is viable but not feasible, then again the project is not doable. Hence, it is very important the project should be feasible as well as viable. Now coming to the major component of the objective which one should cover while preparing the project report. I think there are 5 broad components which should be covered. To start with, company's overview and a management background. Second, technical or a technological assessment. Third, market or marketing strategies. Fourth, financial viability, and the last is strategic analysis. Now let us take these 5 components very broadly. To start with, company overview or a management background, one should cover like the company is a proprietary company, it is a partnership company, it is an LLP, is it a private limited company, or it is a partnership company. In certain case it is a limited company as well. When I say it is a partnership company or it is a LLP, private limited or a limited company, there would be certain registration which would be required. It could be CIN, then PAN, GST. So these are prerequisite for the company formation. Coming to the management background, here it plays a very important role because it is about the promoters. It is about the promoters' qualification, their experience, their expertise, which would actually contribute to the project and their intention to take it forward. In certain cases, even the key persons who are associated with the project should be covered in this chapter. Their experience, their expertise, their contribution to the project to take it to the next level. Other things, say for example, it is an existing project, then their past financials can be covered, their profitability for the past years could be covered, their organogram of the company can be covered in this. And in certain cases, even the shareholding pattern of the company, say for example it is a private limited or a limited company, shareholding pattern plays a key role for the investors. So now the technical or a technological assessment. As the name suggests, technology tie-ups, whether we have done it from some international or the local partner, identifying of the plant and machineries, the suppliers, their credentials, the terms and conditions on which the machineries would be supplied, identification of the land, the accessibility of the land, locational advantage. We will also consider here the utility like power, water, fuel, gas and manpower. This should be easily and readily available. Then implementation schedule, whether the land has been identified and purchased, order of plant and machineries have been given, when are they expected to be arrived, building and civil works have been commenced, when is it going to be completed, and when the final production or the product is going to be commercially available in the market. These are the very important key milestones which we need to cover in the project report. In the technical section, we will also cover the statutory approvals, as we have already earlier discussed about the prerequisites approvals of the companies. In addition to that, here we will also cover the the building and civil construction work. For the building and civil construction work, the plans have been approved by the collector's office. The construction permissions have been given by the Gram Panchayats. Raja Chitti has been given or not. Even the NOCs from the Pollution Control Board has been availed or not, and when it is expected to be coming. Even in certain cases, the factory license have been required or requisites. So overall, this all things we will cover in the technical or a technological sections. Coming to the market assessment. Market assessment, broadly we will cover about the global positioning of the product, local positioning of the product, how the national developments are taking up to the product which we have proposed, and we will try to identify the demand supply gap. This will give us the opportunity, identify the opportunity where we can put our product, where we can place our product rightly. We will also here study about the substitute industry and the product which has been placed in the substitute segment. Here we will also cover about the marketing strategy, identifying the right marketing strategy so that we can penetrate the product in such a way that maximum coverage has been availed. Sometimes in marketing assessment, it is always advisable to conduct the primary surveys. This will give us a hands-on view of how the competing products are putting up in the market. Coming down to the financial viability, they are being broadly divided into two major categories. One is the cost of project and means of finance, and another one is assumption. So in the cost of project, we will consider land and land development, building and civil works, plant and machineries, preliminary and pre-operative, contingency, interest during constructions, and margin money required for the working capital. So these components are basically supported by the supporting documents. Say for example, building and civil. So we can get a quotations or an estimates from the civil engineer or from the architects. Plant and machineries quotations can be availed from the identified vendors. So this will form a cost of project, and based on that, means of finance or the identification how much amount would be required from the investors could be taken up. Coming down to the assumptions, we would require to do a sales assumption. So our marketing assessment chapters would let us know that what are the competing products are being selling at which rates. Same ways, raw material and consumable cost, which we can actually get it from the suppliers. As we have identified the utility, so the cost we can derive for the utility requirement, which we have identified as power, water, fuel, gas, and manpower. So from this we will come to know the profitability of the project. As an investor's point of view, we will need to require certain ratios to be conducted, such as DSCR, sensitivity analysis, payback period, break-even analysis, and IRR. So this comprises of financial viability of the project. Lastly, we will do the strategic analysis. Based on the project, we can identify certain strategies like SWOT analysis could be done, which is basically strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Strength and weakness is basically related to the project, whereas opportunity and threat will always be related to the industry or the market. Likewise, locational advantage or locational analysis could be done, easily and readily available of the utility, distance between the seaport, railway stations, airports, road linkages, so that raw materials and the finished goods be easily transported. This is basically we will cover as a locational advantage. In certain cases like large infrastructure project, we can do PEST analysis, which is political, economical, social, and technological assessment. So this is the 5 major components which one should cover while preparing the project report. To bifurcate or classify like company management background, market assessment, technology assessment, and strategic analysis would form a part of feasibility, whereas viability is always related to the financial part. And based on these our findings, we can conclude taking key points from all these major 5 segments and what exactly we are looking forward from the investors. In my opinion, always the project report should be prepared from some technical experts. So his his uh, knowledge, his experience could be incorporated in the report so that most of the queries which would be raised by the investors can be covered in the project report itself. In case of any queries, do let us know. Thank you.